Alright guys, this is just a quick setup on the IceRiver KS0 Pro. We got a couple of 3D printed parts that I made up. You guys can find these on Thingiverse under neonjer. You can just type in KS0 Pro fan and they should come right up, 120 millimeter. Today we're going to upgrade the 120 millimeter to 200 millimeter 12 volt fan. We're going to use the Thermaltake 12 volt, and then we also have two Noctua 12 volt fans that we're going to add on to our fan shrouds. Alright, so I want to give a shout out to the veteran miner for making me this custom cable that we were working on. What this does is this takes your power pack, your upgraded power pack if you're using overclocks, and it takes it, you plug your power pack into here, and then there's a voltage regulator here, and that goes to 5 to 30 volts. You can tune it however you want, but since you're only inputting 19, that's the max you can get depending on what kind of fan you're using. Since we're using 12, this is already tuned to 12, and then obviously we have our all metal tip for the KS0 Pro. Alright, now this was already tested out by me, and using it on the power pack, the 230 watt recommended by Tswift for the overclocks. This cable seems to be fantastic. There's no heat draw or anything like that, though if you guys do try to run the overclocks on ATX power supplies or anything like that, you are going to generate more heat for whatever the reason is. I don't know, I'm not an electrician, but it does generate way more heat compared to the laptop power pack. Alright, so pretty much I already had, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. These are going to be this is the Ethernet and USB port sided 3D printed parts that I make. These are made out of PETG. Okay, so they got a little more heat resistance. This is what it'll look like once the fan is attached. Alright, I just got this tucked in here. I also have, just in case anybody wants to know, this is just a little makeshift stand that I made for the fan. So with the upgraded 200 millimeter fan that we're going to be using, the online stands don't work. They are too close. The fan actually sits on here and it's crooked. So I just kind of made one, and then just once I realized that the 200 millimeter part was going to be in the way, I just kind of snapped those pieces off. All right, and these are our adapters. Like I said, we got a couple of screws, and then Noctua was nice enough to give us some Y adapter cables. So how we're using it in this video is we have two wires. One came with each fan. All right, we're going to plug this top one into here. Okay, and this will give us one lead for our 12 volt Thermaltake 200 millimeter fan, and then these two will give us our 12 volts to our Noctua fans. All right, so this is the KS0 Pro. I'm sure you guys know what this is. So this was already removed. Now I did a YouTube short. I don't know if you guys can see, but inside there, we upgraded to the new heat sinks, the copper heat sinks on the certain parts that overheat. I forget what they were called exactly. And on this side we have, currently I just have the vented because I was only forcing air into one side. So this is the power side. These you can also find on Thingiverse, and this is the models that I came up with. I'm sure you guys have seen lots of people already have been copying my design and making their own versions, and that's cool. Though if you guys are wanting one, I can make them for you if you'd like. Otherwise, there are some people that are making their own styles. I really don't, want people selling the designs that I made for all you guys for free, but it is what it is. So let's put this aside and let's start off by first getting the Thermaltake fan on. So the way that this is going to work is you have your KS0 Pro here, okay, and then these are pretty simple. They got 4 holes, okay. They lay out. They have. I'm just going to use some quick screws just for the, just for these purposes here. These just lay right on top of here, okay. These screws pop right into here. You can hand tighten them. You can move around a little bit, okay. You should have enough spacing on all these. These just line right up. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to turn it this way. I think I like it better this way. So we're going to do it this way. This way the bar is on the bar. It's like a little support bar for the fan. All right. And then once you get these in, all right, everything else just kind of falls into place here. So the reason why I did this with the 200mm upgrade from the 120 is the 120, as you can get, I know a lot of people are using the Infinity versions, which are great. I'm not saying anything bad about the AC Infinity fans. I have tons of them. Though I thought these look better. They flow more air. I can just use one big fan, which flows more CFM. And if you want, with the voltage regulator, you could get a little more kick out of it now if you wanted to. So now that we got the Thermaltake fan, we got the adapters on. And if anybody's wondering what this green is, these are actually this is color changing PLA. And the reason why I used this originally, especially with these fan grates, is that you can actually see where the heat is coming from. So if you are, pushing heat through or pulling cool air in, you can actually see where the areas are where the heat is coming out, or pulling fresh air in and making sure you're getting your cooling. All right, so back to this fan. So we're gonna make this the top here, okay? So we're gonna place this right on here, and then I just got a couple of these screws here. They're not the best, but they work, and they serve their purpose for now until I find nicer ones. But for now, we're just gonna use these ones. And we're just gonna find the holes, line these up, and then it takes 2 turns to hold these in. Okay, and these are pretty good. You don't need to kill them. You just kind of hand tighten, and that's it. So now you have your 200mm fan, right? You have your wire here. Okay, our 200 or our later. I'm gonna tuck this right in here. Make this easy. So now our power is going to plug into here. Okay, so we want this on this side. I mean, you could do it however you want, but that's how I'm going to do it for this video's purpose. All right. So now we have the power plate, the 3D printed power plate. So what we're going to do is we are going to flip this up here. I'm going to adjust the camera here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So this just kind of fits right on here. And let me just show you guys how it lines up. So this just lines up right like that. You got plenty of space for the screws and for the power. It's not touching anything, all right? And you're just gonna kind of sit like that on an angle, nothing in your way, all right? And now we're gonna take the original screws that it came with, all right, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to find, now I don't know if anybody's taken these screws out or not, but they are a pain to line up. wrong piece. Oh, for this side. Okay, never mind. We'll do the other side. Let's do this side first. Alright, so we'll do the USB side first. So this lines up, same as like I said, as the other way. And these should be pretty good. These should line right up. Boom, you screw right in, right? And this is going to screw in here. And if we can get this, these are, like I said, these are, it's not that they're hard to get in, they're very fine threads, and you know, nobody wants to strip the screws, but they do line right up. It just takes a little finagling, and then they should sit right in. And I'm sure you guys know, with anybody with 3D printed parts and stuff like that, depending on how the machine smushes down the first layer and stuff like that, which angle you print it at, it could always have a, you know, a little bit of a tough time if you don't have the holes widened or whatever. So these just screw right in like that, nice and easy. All right, and I'm just going to save these for the other side. So now we have that. Now we're going to take the Noctua fan, okay, that I got here. We're going to take this, and this is just going to go right on the top here. Okay, now this is, I know it looks wobbly, but it's pretty sturdy. I mean, it's bolted onto here, and then this plate is way thicker than the metal one. And like I said, these are made out of PETG, so they have play. Plus, I only have 3 screws on this side right now, so just bear that in mind. So, with that being said, let's get a couple of screws in this one here, and we can then add the wiring in, and we'll go with that. So we're just going to pop these into here. This is, I mean, I'm not showing you guys anything you don't know already, right? So this is, like I said, same as before. These just screw in, nice and easy, right? You don't have to kill them, nothing like that. Okay, this, of course, this is going to be my whole wire. I should have flipped this before. All right, so now that we have that, so now this is going to sit like so. Kind of starting to look like an ASIC a little bit. All right, so now we have that, and I'll be right back. I'm going to grab the right fan shroud for the power side. All right, so as luck would have it, I printed out one of my old prints when I first started making these, and of course I selected that file on accident when I printed this side. So we are going to use one of the ones that my daughter wanted me to make, which is the pink version. So now she'll be happy that I'm using the pink one in the video. So we are going to use this here. So we're going to line this. So this lines up just like that, just like the other one. Okay, we're going to pop this down. Let me just slide this up a little bit so this is out of our way. And just so this will sit flush on the when we do the attachment here. All right. And Noctua has these nice rubber surroundings, which is why I like these fans, especially when you're doing this stuff up to 3D printing. It kind of makes like a seal. Not really, but kind of. All right, so same as the other one. You're just going to drop whatever screws you have down into here. Like I said, I'm just using some drywall screws. This is what I got laying around. Not ideal, not the nicest, but they would do the job for now. I'm just, like I said, I'm just showing you guys how this goes together. All right, so now we have our Noctua fan set up. Now this will be a little difficult, so I think I might throw a little angle on this here. Okay, and this will kind of give us the angle that we need to screw, hopefully, these pieces in. So smart, I probably would have screwed the fan 3D adapter in first and not the fan. But why make things easy? So let's see if we can do it this way. So this is going to be tough because I am not lefty. Son's lefty, I'm not lefty. Let's see if we can just do it like this. There we go. Get a little help. And everybody needs a little help once in a while. There we go. So let's get these two started. And then the bottom should be cake. Okay, and like I said, all this stuff lines up. They have ample spacing for the screws. It's just getting them started is the biggest pain. And you know, like I said, once you get them started, and I'll show you here, I mean, you'll see they bolt right in. You have that little extra space around the power side. And then let's see if we can zoom in here. You can see that fits right on there, and the screw holes are lined right up. Alright. So let's finish putting in these last two here. And then once we get these last two in, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to set up our wiring. And that will be, the first part will be using the splitters that Noctua was nice enough to put in the package. And the second part would be the veteran miner made me that cable, which is awesome. And like I said, this thing's been working flawlessly for me on this project that I've been doing. So let's check this thing out. Now that we got everything set up, it looks kind of crazy, right? So now here we go. We have our in, our out, right here. Let me give you a table shot here. It's an in and an out. You got your power side on this side. This will be intake. This will be exhaust. You'll have your power wires and everything coming out this side. Obviously, you guys can flip them whichever way you want. Like I said, you know, some people might think it's better going the other way. I don't know. It's preference. I mean, you know, if you're running it in a 20-degree garage right now, you know, in a cold area, it probably doesn't even matter. But let's get this thing together and let's power this thing up and let's see what we got going on. So we're going to take this cable. Remember, I said it's two splitters from Noctua. We're going to put one splitter into the other splitter, giving us 4. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to take one cable from the one side. Okay, we're going to plug that in here, and it doesn't really matter which one goes where. I'm just going to do whichever one's easiest for me, which will be this one here, which is the 200mm fan. That'll go in here. And like I said, these are all 12 volt. And the last one I'm going to wrap around here, and that will plug right into here. All right, and that will give us our 3 12 volt connections for for all our fans. All right, I'm gonna do a quick slight cable management here, just to get some of this stuff out of our way. And let's see if we can just wrap these for now. This Velcro strap, just so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so now we have this cable. We have a one tail now for our 12 volt. Okay, we have our 200 millimeter fan. We have our exhaust fan. We have our intake fan. Right, we have our adapter. Everything should be up and running. So now we are going to take, this is plugged into my wall. I'm not going to show you that because nobody cares. I'm going to take that, and you're going to use the Veteran Miners cable. All right. So let me just go over this real quick. So this is actually pretty cool. So the way this was designed is you have your female all metal end here that gets split up, okay, and then you have your one side that goes to your voltage regulator, which, like I said, you can set on with 19 volts coming in. You can set it anywhere from 5 to 19 volts, obviously. All right, and then that comes out, and that particular piece comes into this end, okay, which I put on because, like I said, this was kind of like a test and trial thing. So we will, I wasn't sure if anything was going to work, and I didn't want him to waste money on things that, I wasn't sure if, I was definitely going to do or not. So this end, I just, I added on this myself. Then also, he added on the all metal hot end for the KS0 Pro. I did tell him that I was using the overclocks, and he did tell me that, potentially, anything with overclocking and, adding extra voltage and stuff like that could, potentially, may or may not work. But after a lot of testing and stuff like that, I had zero issues with these ends that he did for me. Everything worked fantastic. Like I said, the only issue that I personally ran into had nothing to do with his cables or anything like that. The issue that I had was I tried to run the KS0 Pro off of my power supply, and that was the I think you want to call it like the ATX power supply to the hot to the barrel plug. And what was happening was it was just generating too much heat, at least in my opinion. Some people don't have issues. Maybe it's just my particular units. Like I said, I do have them overclocked, so it is drawing more than recommended. And then plus, like I said, it's 12 volts. I know a lot of people don't have issues with the KSO. Those seem to work okay. With the KS0 Pros, I guess it's kind of hit and miss. Though, like I said, it has nothing to do with the cables. It has more to do with, you modifying and changing things that probably, aren't meant to be changed, So with that being said, this cable has worked for me flawless 100% of the time with zero issues. So with that being said, let me plug this in and let me show you guys what it looks like. So when you plug this female end in, you get your power light, your red light here, okay, and that's just pretty much telling me that the there is power going through the line, and that the fan wires are going to get the voltage that I set it at, which was 12 volts. So just to give it a check before I plug in the KS0 Pro, I'm going to plug this in now, and we should get all our fans running. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this Thermaltake fan. It's a little noisy at first until it kind of fans out. Oh, maybe where do I got them? one pulling, one pushing. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. There we go. So we got that going. Okay. Now we have this fan set. Now, like I said, these are all set. This is set at I think like 12.6 volts or something like that. You know, I haven't messed with it too much. And then in the back, obviously K-Swift recommends that you guys run the stock fans at 100%. I haven't had to do that just because of the extra fans, obviously. This generates, you know, you could feel the air coming out of the sides here. You know, like I said, you can feel the air coming and going out of this. So, you know, like I said, you know, it's, can't really see with the paper towel, but anyway, you could feel it coming out of here. So, with all that being said, let's plug in the KS0 Pro and let's see if we can verify function with everything going on. Okay, so now this barrel plug just plugs right into here like it normally would. All right, and I'm just going to plug this in here. Okay, and now that's in. All right, and like I said, if you were doing this for your setup, you're obviously going to make it much nicer with the cables and everything. I'm just kind of popping everything together here, showing you guys the prints, you know, the cable from the veteran miner and the 200 millimeter fan upgrade adapters. So you guys can see all that. So it looks like the fans on the KS0 Pro are up and mining. And we'll verify all this. Let me just turn the laptop here. Nice enough. The K-Swift group came up with the new tool. Okay, and that was, let's see, the IceRiver monitor. And with that, you can check out all the stats and everything. Now I'm not going to be able to log into that because I don't have an Ethernet connection to this right now. But we can. I'll bring it down. I'll hook it back up, and we'll see what kind of numbers we're getting with all the fans attached. All right. So give me a minute. All right. So we're all set up now with the KS0 Pro back in the basement. We got everything connected here. We have our Noctua 12 volt fans not running. We have our Thermaltake 200 millimeter 12 volt fan connected and running. The KS0 Pro is powered up. It has the stock fans set to 100% as recommended by Tswift. We also have our custom cable installed here from the veteran miner, and if we flip over to here, you will see that this has been running for about 25 minutes now, and we are currently at 258, and our temps are running 31 on the board temp and 49 on the board temp out. Now, just for reference, you guys can see here the temperature inside is 79. All right, though it is about, give or take, about, it's below 30 out right now outside. So, and there is intake ventilation into this room. So, but around the machines it's about 79. All right, so that's gonna kind of be our stable area for now, our temperatures, which is going to be pretty much the 31 board temp and the 49 board out temp. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plug in our fans, which will give us our intake an exhaust from our 3D printed fan housings, and that should start dropping temperature. How much is it going to drop? I don't know. It's already pretty low in here just because the temperatures are cool, so it may be less significant for me, maybe more significant for somebody else, at least right now at this point. So like I said, we're at 31 and 49, 31 on the in, 49 on the out. From previous testing with all this stuff running, 200 millimeter fan, 12 volts, and the in and out with the, like I said before, this is pulling in, this is exhausting out. I have reached 29 on the in and 46 on the out. So that's pretty much what we plan on seeing once everything is good. We also have a temperature gun. We could check the ports here, and like I said, the veteran miners cables here are cool and calm here at 85 degrees. All right, you're not going to get any cooler than that. And then here on my other KS0, you can see that it's a little warmer. If I go on the metal here, you'll see it's at like 88, 89, you know, almost 90, you know, if I kind of hold it here. All right, but if you come over to his right here, then you'll notice that he's slightly lower. All right, I mean, obviously if you go inside the machine, it's going to be a little hotter, but on his part, it's a few degrees cooler, and that's good. So with all that being said, we'll let this run for a few more minutes. I figure usually about 10 minutes it starts to drop, and as you can see, we swing back over to the screen, we are already starting to drop. We are now at 30 and 49. So, and like I said, currently the coolest I've gotten it, at least for my temperature here, was 29 and 46, which is like, that's cool. I mean, you know, I hear and see people are having issues with you know, temperatures of like, you know, 60, 70 degrees, the machine's tripping out and all that other stuff. You know, this seems to be pretty, you know, seems to be running pretty cool here. You can see I got the arrows on here for the in and out. All right. Oh, I also added, remember I was saying before I had a vibration or some sort of noise coming from the Thermaltake when I was putting it together. I just added some rubber grommets, like spacers, on the back of this when I screwed it to the plate. You just get a lot of vibration out of the Thermaltakes compared to the Noctuas. I mean, you can see this one here I got in the back, this Noctua here. I mean, this thing's like whisper quiet, and I don't even have anything other than the mesh side vents and whatnot. I mean, this thing is quiet as a mouse. It's just running on 5 volts. It's plugged into the USB. I mean, you could see this one here, I have the heat temperature PLA printed screen mesh, and there's like barely any heat, you know, markings or anything like that. I mean, it's pretty much all green. It would be yellow if it was hot. Let me see if I can show you this one. I don't know, you could probably get an idea. You can see the yellow right there, and that kind of shows you where the heat is. So it's cool. You know, it's not necessary, but it's definitely cool. You can kind of see if there's any extra heat. You know, if I wanted to blow a fan onto it or something like that, you know, I could probably cool it down even more. But I mean, these two machines that I have going with just the 200 millimeter Noctua fans at 5 volts is doing phenomenal on the overclocks with nothing else.
Like I said, this machine was giving me trouble. I rethermal paste. I put those copper fins on the heat sinks, and then I upgraded to the in and out push and pull system here. Now, like I said, you know, depending on your unit, depending on what's going on, you might want to do, you know, not a push and pull. Maybe you're doing, you know, an exhaust out on both sides because you got the fan pushing in, and then you got a 200 millimeter fan pushing in as well. So maybe you want to be pulling that heat out. I have no clue. You know, like I said, everybody's unit's going to be different depending on how they set it up, what type of fans they use, you know, what voltage speed your fans are at, all that fantastic stuff. I mean, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for our video. Shout out to the veteran miner again for hooking me up with the cable. You know, definitely made my life a lot easier when putting everything together. And like I said, zero issues with all the testing I did with this cable. Just great quality stuff. And just to flip around to this, we've added a few more minutes on. Ooh. And we're screen timed out. Let's get this back up and going. And oh, look at that a second to boot back up. But like I was saying, I think that was at that was down to 30 and 47, I think I saw. So yeah, here we go. It's back up and running. So 30 and 47, and it's hashing at 262, which is fantastic for a unit that I was having an issue with. You know, and now everything seems to be good. Like I said, the temps are nice and low, a few modifications, and I haven't had an issue. This thing continues to run without an issue. It could probably run right now because the temperature is so cool without the in and out, but I mean, you know, it saves a few degrees, you know, on my end. And like I said, if this thing decides to spike on temperature for some reason, you know, it's just added safety. Or if it gets hot one day and the temperature's rising here, you know I'm good to go. So hope this helped you guys out, and good luck mining your Caspa.